First off, let's talk about the graphics and lighting. 10 years ago, Watch Dogs was a technical marvel, but in 2025, with some of the mods and visual improvements available, it's almost unreal how much better it looks now. The lighting, especially at night, is breathtaking. The neon lights in the city, the reflections on the puddles, the subtle ambient glow around buildings, all of it just looks so polished. You know, I always remembered the game being beautiful back in the day, but with these mods, it feels like I'm seeing a completely new version of the game. The city of Chicago has this life to it now, with so many little details that weren't as noticeable before. I swear there are moments when I'm just driving around and admiring the view like it's a next-gen game. Then there's Aiden Pierce himself. His character model, especially with some texture mods, looks so much sharper now. The animations are more fluid, and you really start to see how much effort went into this game's character design. It just feels natural. Even the way Aiden walks and interacts with the environment, there's this little extra layer of polish that I didn't notice in 2014. And if you've played this game, you know Aiden's coat is iconic, right? With the mods, it's like that coat has a life of its own, flowing perfectly as he moves through the city. It just adds that little extra detail that makes it feel even more immersive. Speaking of immersion, the driving has also seen some improvements with mods. The cars feel more responsive, more alive. Remember the original driving mechanics? How a lot of people felt the cars were a little too floaty. That's no longer the case here. With the added improvements, the vehicles feel heavier, more grounded. It makes the high-speed chases even more intense, and I really feel the impact now when I hit a corner or crash into a wall. It's a huge improvement to an already fun part of the game. And let's not forget the beauty of the city. Driving through Chicago in 2025, you can see the environment in a whole new way. The modded weather systems and atmospheric effects really make the city feel dynamic. It's like the world is alive around you. Rainstorms, sunsets, even fog rolling in. You start to appreciate all these little details more as you play. One of the most underrated parts of Watch Dogs was always the hacking. Even 10 years later, the concept of hacking into the environment, cars and people feels fresh. With mods, some of the mechanics feel smoother too. The AI is more reactive, and the way people in the game interact with the world, whether it's them noticing something suspicious or reacting to your hacks, it's all so much more responsive. The combat feels a lot smoother as well. I was kind of expecting the old stiff animations, but no, the combat in 2025 feels fluid, and Aiden's movements in cover are much more natural now.
Welcome.
The modded textures on the weapons and environments just give the whole game a polished finish, making it look like a modern action game rather than a decade-old classic. And let's talk about the little things that make this game feel alive. The pedestrians, the side missions, everything just feels so immersive. The AI feels more interactive, almost as if the city itself has a heartbeat. There are even mods that add extra life to the world, like more pedestrians, dynamic events happening in the streets, and even little street performances here and there. I love how even the little details, the sounds of the city, the chatter of pedestrians, the cars zooming by, really bring you into the world. It makes the game world feel vibrant and alive, like a place you could really walk around in and explore for hours. And that's something I think a lot of games lose over time. Attention to the small details. Watch Dogs 1 in 2025 has aged really well thanks to these mods. So, after playing this again 10 years later, I can honestly say that Watch Dogs 1 is still a phenomenal game. The mods have truly brought it back to life, and I'm amazed at how much of a difference they make. The lighting, the improved visuals, the smoother mechanics, it's all come together so well. If you haven't played this game in a while, or you've never experienced it at all, I highly recommend jumping back in. Dogs 1 after 10 years, And let me tell you, I'm completely blown away by how much the game holds up in 2025. This game is so much better than I remember, and with a few mods to spice things up, it feels almost like a brand new experience.